Okay, it is now officially that time of the year. We are down to two final teams remaining in the NFL season. Those two teams are the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, led by Patrick Mahomes, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, led by Tom Brady. Kansas City currently is favored by 3.5 points to win Super Bowl 55 over the Kansas City Chiefs. In my opinion, this is the greatest Super Bowl matchup from a quarterback perspective. You know, you look at Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. Tom Brady right now today is regarded as the greatest quarterback of all time, and rightfully so. Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes, he's arguably maybe the most talented quarterback of all time, definitely in that conversation. And I can argue that if he gets a couple more Super Bowl rings and he continues to pile up the numbers that he's piling up, he has a chance to overtake Tom Brady as the greatest quarterback of all time. Okay, so you got the old gun Tom Brady, who's 43 years old, versus the new gun Patrick Mahomes, who to me is the face of the NFL as we speak today. He's going to dominate for the next 10 to 15 years, okay? I picked these two teams to make the Super Bowl in the preseason. It is not a surprise that these two teams are meeting up, and I'm going to pick the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 55. I believe this game is going to come down to which team can protect their quarterback the best, because these two teams are so evenly matched. We've got star wide receivers, we've got really good star players on both defenses, two really good quarterbacks, two capable head coaches. You know, Bruce Arians is probably not quite on Andy Reid's level, but Bruce Arians, he's a pretty, solid head coach. I'd say there's a lot of star players. These two teams are very evenly matched, and I think that when it comes to two teams that are evenly matched, facing off against each other, whichever team wins in the trenches is more than likely the team that is going to win the game, okay? And which team can protect their quarterback the best? I trust Tampa Bay's offensive line versus Kansas City's defensive line more than I trust the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive line. I believe Tom Brady will be protected in this game. Tom Brady is going to be accurate, and Tom Brady will make a couple more plays than Patrick Mahomes in this Super Bowl, and that will be the difference in this game, okay? The Kansas City Chiefs have very few weaknesses on their football team, but the two units on their football team, to me at least, that are not as quite top-notch as you would like them to be are their secondary and their offensive line. And that, in my opinion, favors the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because when Tampa Bay is at their best, they're protecting Tom Brady up front with their really good offensive line, and they get after the opposing quarterback. The best thing Tampa Bay does is they protect Tom Brady and they get after the other quarterback. And I trust them to get after Patrick Mahomes and to at times make Patrick Mahomes be uncomfortable, maybe make a mistake or two. And while Patrick Mahomes is more than capable of overcoming, deficits, overcoming, teams being up double digits on him, overcoming mistakes, he's loose, he's fun, he's joyful. And look, I do expect Patrick Mahomes to play pretty fairly well in this game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will give up some big plays. They will give up yards. We did see Aaron Rodgers be able to move the football on their defense in the NFC Championship game. Aaron Rodgers, he was running around, he's making plays, but ultimately they were able to get after Aaron Rodgers. They hit Aaron Rodgers a couple of times. They sacked him, and he didn't have very many clean pockets in the NFC Championship game. I could see Patrick Mahomes throwing for over 300 yards in this game. I could see Patrick Mahomes throwing 3 or 4 touchdowns in this game. But in the end, he will probably make a mistake or two in this game that Tom Brady simply will not make when it matters the most. I believe Tom Brady will protect the football. Tampa Bay will give him multiple clean pockets in this game. He'll be efficient. He'll be accurate. And I believe Tom Brady will make a couple more plays in this game that Patrick Mahomes simply does not make. And also, you look at Kansas City secondary, I don't particularly favor Kansas City secondary versus Tampa Bay's wide receiver core. You got Mike Evans, you got Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown. He's back. He's going to be fully healthy. I do expect Antonio Brown to potentially be the X factor in this matchup, along with Leonard Fournette. If Tampa Bay cannot run the football and have a balanced attack, they probably aren't going to win this game. So Leonard Fournette, he's got to play a big role in this matchup. Tampa Bay will have to be able to run the football. I believe they will be able to run the football. I believe Tom Brady will be able to get the football to his playmakers. They'll make plays for him. They'll expose Kansas City secondary. And getting back to Tampa Bay winning up front, Tampa Bay in the NFL during the regular season, they were 6th in the NFL in sacks per game. Meanwhile, Kansas City, they were 19th in sacks per game. And listen, in these big games, in the Super Bowl, in order to beat Tom Brady, you are going to have to get pressure on Tom Brady. There's no other way around it. You can't just sit back and let Tom Brady throw balls in the pocket with the clean pocket, things like that. It's not going to work. And ultimately, I don't think Kansas City will be able to make Tom Brady's life uncomfortable enough. Obviously, Tampa Bay and Kansas City did both meet in the regular season of the 2020 NFL season. They met in the regular season all the way back to Week 12. And the Kansas City Chiefs were able to win that game 27-24. But I believe that Tom Brady and the Buccaneers and their coaching staff, they'll go back, they'll look at that film, they will make the adjustments, and ultimately they will win Super Bowl 55. We saw the Kansas City Chiefs back in that Week 12 matchup jump out to an early lead. It did not seem like Tampa Bay had much of an answer for Tyreek Hill and their dynamic weapons, but ultimately in the second half, they made adjustments, they made that game close, and ultimately I think they're going to carry that success they had in the second half of that Week 12 matchup into the Super Bowl, and that will be the difference in this game. I have Tom Brady winning his 7th Super Bowl ring in this game versus the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 55. I believe Tom Brady will win Super Bowl MVP, and ultimately they'll be just a tad bit better than the Kansas City Chiefs in this matchup. Kansas City, they're a great team. They got dynamic players all over their field, and ultimately I believe Kansas City probably should be favored to win this game because I do believe they are arguably the better team. They have the better quarterback. But ultimately, like I said in the preseason, I think the destiny is going to be on Tom Brady's side. It just seems like something special is brewing in Tampa Bay. Ironically, Tampa Bay is actually going to be at home in this game due to the fact that they were able to get to the Super Bowl. And what do you know? The Super Bowl is in Tampa Bay, Florida this year, the home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So ultimately, for all those reasons that I mentioned, I believe Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will defeat the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, led by Patrick Mahomes, in Super Bowl 55. That's my Super Bowl 55 prediction for you guys out there. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God-blessed day, and I'm out.